Hey, Lassie. Today's episode brought to you by Wheat Thins. Won't you try some for your family today? They're good and pure mostly. Not very much floor sweepings in there in the manufacturing process. Oh, here's where we left off. Oh, there's Nutmeg. Oh, there's Mac. Hey, Nutmeg, do you want a Wheat Thin? She says, is the Pope Polish? Of course I want a Wheat Thin. Here you go, sweetie. Here. It's okay. Good girl. Mackie. Episode 2 of Usher 2 by Bradbury. The rocket landed. A man stepped out jauntily. He glanced at the house, and his gray eyes were displeased and vexed. He strode across the moat to confront the small man there. Your name Stendhal? Yes, I'm Garrett, investigator of moral climates. So you finally got to Mars, you moral climate people. I wondered when you'd appear. We arrived last week. We'll soon have things as neat and as tidy as Earth. The man waved an identification card irritably toward the house. Suppose you tell me about that place, Stendhal. It's a haunted castle, if you like. I don't like, Stendhal. I don't like the sound of that word. Haunted. Simple enough. In the year of our Lord, 2005, I've built a mechanical sanctuary. In it, copper bats fly on electronic beams. Brass rats scuttle in plastic cellars. Robot skeletons dance. Robot vampires, harlequins, wolves, and white phantoms. Compounded of chemical and ingenuity, live here. Hey, Blackjack. You want a Wheat Thin? Blackjack, come here. Well, come here. Yeah, come here. There you go. That's what I was afraid of, said Garrett, smiling quietly. I'm afraid we're going to have to tear your place down. I knew you'd come out as soon as you discovered what went on. I'd have come sooner, but we at Moral Climates wanted to be sure of your intentions before we moved in. We can have the dismantlers and the burning crew here. By supper. By midnight, your place will be razed to the cellar. Mr. Stendhal, I consider you somewhat of a fool, sir. Spending hard-earned money on a folly. Why, it must have cost you $3 million. $4 million. But, Mr. Garrett, I inherited $25 million when very young. I can afford to throw it about. Seems a dreadful shame, though, to have the house finished only an hour and have you race out with your dismantlers. Could you possibly let me play with my toy for just 24 hours? You know the law. Strict to the letter. No books, no houses, nothing to be produced in any way that suggests ghosts, vampires, fairies, or any creature of the imagination. You'll be burning Babbitts next. You've caused us a lot of trouble, Mr. Stendhal. It's in the record. 20 years ago on Earth, you and your library. Yes, me and my library, and a few others like me. Oh, Poe's been forgotten for many years now, and Oz and the other creatures, but I had my little cache. We had our libraries, a few private citizens until you sent your men around with torches and incinerators and tore my 50,000 books up and burned them. Just as you put a stake through the heart of Hollywood, through the heart of Halloween, and told your film producers that if they made anything at all, they would have to remake Ernest Hemingway. My God, how many times have I seen For Whom the Bell Tolls done? 30 different versions, all realistic. Oh, realism. Oh, here, oh, now, oh, hell. It doesn't pay to be bitter. Mr. Garrett, you must turn in a full report, mustn't you? Yes. Then for curiosity's sake, you better come in and look around. Take only a minute. All right, lead the way. And no tricks, I've a gun with me. The door to the house of Usher cracked wide. A moist wind issued forth. There was an immense sighing and moaning like a subterranean bellows, breathing in the lost catacombs. A rat pranced across the floor stones. Garrett, crying out, gave it a kick. It fell over, the rat did, and from its nylon fur streamed an incredible horde of metal fleas. Amazing, Garrett bent to see. An old witch sat in a niche, quivering her wax hands over some orange and blue tarot cards. She jerked her head up and hissed through her toothless mouth at Garrett, tapping her greasy cards. "Death!" she cried. "Now that's the sort of thing I mean," said Garrett. "Deplorable." "Well, I'll let you burn her personally. Will you really?" Garrett was pleased. Then he frowned. "I must say you're taking this all so well." It was enough just to be able to create this place, to be able to say I did it, to say I nurtured a medieval atmosphere in a modern, incredulous world. Oscar, come here. I've somewhat of a reluctant admiration for your genius myself, sir. Garrett watched a mist drift by, whispering and whispering, shaped like a beautiful and nebulous woman. Down a moist corridor, a machine whirled, like the stuff from a cotton candy centrifuge. Mists sprang up and floated, murmuring in the silent hall. An ape appeared out of nowhere. "Hold on," said Garrett. "Don't be afraid." Stendhal tapped the animal's black chest. "A robot, copper skeleton and all, like the witch, see?" He stroked the fur, and under it metal tubing came to light. "Yes." Garrett put out a timid hand to pet the thing. "But why, Mr. Stendhal, why all this? What obsessed you?" "Bureaucracy, Mr. Garrett. I haven't time to explain. The government will discover soon enough." He nodded to the ape. "All right, now." The ape killed Mr. Garrett. And we will leave it there for this second episode of Usher 2 by Ray Bradbury.